because we're basic grunts and everybody's expendable to an extent. And we can be written off very easily, like, hey, he's special forces. You knew that, telling your parents he was in Nicaragua, he got shot, that's all you need, or you know what I mean? He died in an accident. Parents are going to accept that because they've already accepted the fact that you're a special forces personnel and high risk job.
He was a strong, healthy young man, robust. He he joined the Marines and then stayed in the Marines, and he kept training up to a SEAL status and then a Black SEAL status, and which is the highest ranking or the highest trained level a Marine can reach. But when I found the W-4 in his wallet while he was taking a shower, he was drawing $72,000 a year on a commission from the CIA, which is about equivalent to a colonel grade. He had sparse blonde hair. It wasn't not real shaggy hair. He was he stood very erect. He looked like a Marine, like a soldier. He had blue eyes. He'd answer questions, but he didn't add a lot. If he didn't ask the question, you're not going to get any information. He had a tattoo on his right arm that he kept covered up, and he got a mark for each special mission carried out. Now, to him, his special missions were terminating enemies of the United States government. If they were characterized as enemies and they didn't want them to go to trial because the information might come out that would be of a sensitive nature, they would just terminate them instead, and he understood that that was what he was doing, and that was his job. To me, it's murder. To him, it was a mission. He was also living the life of a government assassin. All the special troops there, apparently, were being used for the same purpose. And they thought those assassinations were called missions, special missions. They got a special bonus for each special mission and a hash mark on the arm. And these young men were selected when they were in their high teens, very impressionable age, and they looked for people that already were patriotic. And they worked on the patriotism in boot camp until they became so patriotic that they would weep when the flag would go up and down the flagpole. And they were training to take out America's enemies. And so for them to carry out one of these missions, all their leaders had to do was characterize somebody as a traitor or an enemy of the United States or a spy, and their job as top Marines was to take out the enemies of the country, and they would do it with no compunction. But even if it was a brother, they would do it, or a sister, a close relative, because they were trained to implicitly believe their leaders. Their leaders could not err, and so these missions were simply missions to kill spies, internal spies within the system, and they thought that's what they were doing, is ridding the system of its betrayers, of its traitors. So it didn't bother him at all about murdering people. These guys were exempt because they were carrying out a special mission, and they really believed this. They didn't feel bad about their hits, because they sincerely believed that they all were traitors and enemies of the country. He'd gone to take a shower in my shower, and he laid his keys and wallet on the coffee table in front of the sofa where I was sitting when he went in to take a shower. And I thought, oh, I'll look in his wallet and see if he is who he says he is. And when I did, I saw there's no Connor Orion in the wallet. All the names in there were Derek Hennessy. So I looked a little further. I took out a group of credit cards in an envelope, in a pocket in the wallet, and folded in between the cards, folded four ways so you couldn't see it. And when I separated the cards, there was this piece of paper folded tightly. It turned out to be a W-4, which is the employer's statement of withholding, salary base and withholding, and it showed that he was earning $72,000 a year. Well, I didn't want him to know that I was snooping in his wallet, so I folded it all up carefully, put it all back exactly the way it was, and put it back on the table. He did not know that I had discovered this. I had to kind of bait him to get some answers. I asked him what he was doing, and he said something about a special mission. I said, what's a special mission? He said, taking care of government business. He said, we're trained, recruited and trained to take care of enemies of the American government. He said, if they're spies, they're spies. They're enemies of the government. That's our duty. He was also drawing the sergeant's pay, and he told me that he was drawing special pay outside of the country. It was deposited in accounts outside of the country. He said he had $300,000 saved up. He said, I got $5,000 bonus for each special mission. I said, what's a special mission? He says, that's carrying out a mission for the government to terminate a person that they can't afford to bring to trial because it might reveal too much. So they terminate him another way so that the secrets don't get out. In the same cards, folded the same way with the W4 statement, was a copy of a hit order and a mug sheet. The mug sheet showed a front and face photographs of the hit, the 18th hit, handprint and fingerprints for all the 10 fingers, and a name and an address. And I folded that the same way and put it back, all back in his wallet, so he didn't know that I had seen it. But later I got him to tell me about his special missions, and he told me about the 18th one being his last one. And I fished a little bit and got more information, but I never did tell him that I'd looked in his wallet. I don't think he ever knew that.
When you took it out of his wallet, did you go over and scan it on your copy? Is that how you got copies?
I made a copy, yeah.
Okay.
This is the hit order that he received under his, in a valise with his clothes was the hit order, and his instructions to report to, says, Ghost Walker, you are to report to the American Embassy in Budapest, Hungary. You will be received by S.A. Grey Wolf. As a unit, you will proceed to terminate a ex-S.A. David T. Johnson. That's the hit order. And there's David T. Johnson. He was a Army Green Beret, staff officer in the American Embassy in Budapest.
Murdered.
Murdered.
By Connor O'Ryan.
By Connor O'Ryan, and his partner, they both put bullets in him. His partner was S.A. Grey Wolf.
Zoom in and you can see it's the CIA.
Connor O'Ryan was Ghost Walker. When they were on missions like that, they were not allowed to exchange names. He never knew who Grey Wolf was. He was in level 2 of S4 when he found a note under his pillow after he'd gone off shift. Report to his sergeant. The sergeant handed him an envelope and told him the car was waiting and they'd drive him to Las Vegas to the bus station. When he got to the bus station in Las Vegas, he knew, having done this before, that he would look for a key taped to the back of the locker. So he felt around the back of the locker, so he found a key taped there. It had the locker number. He opened the locker and took out a valise, a traveling valise, nice one, with a suit of clothes, shoes, socks, shirt, tie, and everything for business travel. And he put those clothes on and put his clothes back in the locker, his Marine clothes back in the locker, and took the bus down to Los Angeles and the airline ticket to Budapest. And had a schedule and everything else on, so somebody had already coordinated. He didn't have a long wait any place. The last one, the 18th one, when he was sent to Budapest, Hungary, he was paired with another CIA agent, or another agent like himself, who was another Special Forces troop. And they were given Hungarian clothes and Hungarian weapons and ammunition, shoes and everything to do it. Mugshots of their hit, and where he lived, maps of where he lived, his routes that he traveled, where he went to church, where he went to the grocery store and everything. And they took him out together, one on each side of his car. When he came out of the grocery store with his groceries, putting them in his car, they hit him from both sides with his 2 teenage kids in the car. And they put 7 or 8 bullets in him, and he died. See, and they just pocketed their weapons and walked away in the crowd. They looked like everybody else there, and they went back to the American Embassy, reported to the attaché, who gave them the clothes and the guns and the money. The attaché gave them their clothes, but traveling clothes back, and drove them to the airport, and they went home. Now that's what a mission was. And they were given back their American clothes and money.